What's up, you guys? All right, to save time for the usual, I just pulled a few cards, but I did flip the decks to start out. I always look what's underneath the deck and what we're getting underneath the decks. And then I got challenge card, advice cards, and then I'll get 2 more oracle. We're getting the judgment card once again with the mistress of the labyrinth in the reverse, and it says, my soul knows the way and the only way out is through. Bottom line with these cards like this is that there is a decision. Yeah, King of Swords. See this? Okay, King of Swords and then the Ten of Wands is like a huge burden. This decision that you need to make about whatever it is in your life that has been looming over your head has become so burdensome and heavy that you can barely even see where you're going anymore. This guy's carrying so many wands that he can't see in front of his own 2 feet. This is the point where you have to not just make a clear choice, you have to make the tough choice. I already did this reading. The last one that I posted was about this. It's like basically a continuation of the energy, and I shuffle the cards a lot. So when I keep getting the same ones over and over, whoever needs to hear this, you need to hear it apparently hammered in. So let's keep going. This is hard. Let's not get it twisted. Like, this is uncomfortable. This is the type of lesson, spiritual lesson, that you simply cannot avoid. Your soul came here to learn this. It doesn't matter how much you resist it, how many times you circle back around to it, no matter how many ways you try to run away from it, avoid it, delay it, procrastinate it, don't look at it, it's following you. Because you have, this is like, you're gonna do it whether you like it or not almost. It feels like if you don't do it, usually what happens in cases like this is that life just keeps throwing you the plot twist. Something else falls apart. Something else comes undone. Like, you just get to the point where it's like, why are you continuing to fight this? It just is getting worse and worse and worse to the point where it's ridiculous. But you do have to come. I understand that people that have a lot of past trauma that hasn't been resolved, or a lot of insecurity, a lot of fear, a lot of self-doubt, really have a hard time with this. But it is what it is at this point. It literally is what it is. There is no way out but through this tunnel. You've got to walk all the way through it, or you're not going to get out of it. And you already know, based on the fact that the Ten of Wands is the end of a cycle, you've been at this for a really long time. This is not brand new. This is not something that just happened last week. This could be going on literally 10 plus. This could be, I feel, years, but this could literally be decade plus, like 10 years plus, that you've been carrying this weight around. So again, this is like an ancestral pattern of not choosing yourself, of like self-abandonment, or of not being radically honest with yourself and the people around you that has caught up. I want to say caught up with you, but like, it's fine. Like, we all get there when we get there. The persistence of this message tells me that apparently, like, you might need to hear it 100 times, but it's going to keep coming because there is no way to escape this one. Again, you already know what the suffering looks like staying wherever you are. So your worst enemy right now is like literally yourself and your own doubt that it will work out for you, or that it will be better on the other side of this. As I was talking about before, this is like what they call the sunk cost fallacy, where it's like, you need to know that even if you've put a ton of time and effort into something, it doesn't mean that you need to stick with it anymore. And people have a really hard time with that, because they're like, but I put in 10, 15 years, but I had an expectation, but I wanted this to work out a certain way, and it didn't. And you got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. And walking away from something you've invested in, whether it be a job thing, career, relationship, a marriage, a partnership of some kind, like, there just comes a point where you just have to release your grip on the expectation you had and understand that it didn't work out the way you wanted it to, for a reason, maybe a bigger reason than you'll ever logically understand. But trust me, this is a spiritual lesson. Let's see what else comes up here. So, all right. But again, once you make the choice, this new energy will come right in. This is a new beginning. Passionate, exciting. It will make you feel alive again. You're not going to feel like a zombie anymore. You're not going to feel like you're just going through the motions, holding on to this. It's like martyrdom. Like, oh, I just couldn't, like, I just can't. I'm not making light of it. I get it. Like, some people's lives stuff is really heavy. And it's not to like joke about, but I'm just saying martyrdom is like, you really think that that's noble to carry your suffering. And it's just not, it's not noble. It's self-destructive. Okay? It's not self-loving. So the challenge is taking your power back fully, completely, totally. No more blaming, no more pointing the finger, no more making an excuse, no more trying to reel other people into the drama, no more looking for somebody to rescue you from perhaps a mess that you made or a situation that you got yourself into. This is like, you are not helpless, you are not powerless, ever. You're not. It's a perception of not wanting to be responsible because of the fallout and the consequences that will come from this, whatever it is that happened. And again, if there's shame, if there's guilt, well, again, those are just emotions that you've got to move through and integrate. You have to decide, what's it worth to me? I can stay stuck. I already know what that's like. And you might be addicted to it, because we can get addicted to our pain. It's the only thing that's familiar. We don't know who we are without the pain. We're like, who would I be if I were actually happy? Who would I be if I actually had love? Who would I be if I actually had money in the bank? Like, if you don't know who you are there, it feels scary because it's unfamiliar, not because it's not better for you. Right? So taking your power back is a massive, this is your challenge right now. You've got to, and I still don't think there's any way around this lesson. I think you're gonna have to learn it no matter what. It will just keep getting worse and worse where you are, or other circumstances will come in unexpectedly and shake things up. That typically happens. Because on a soul level, we are still co-creating our reality, whether we're consciously aware of it or not. You're directing a lot of it through your subconscious. And so if part of you strongly wants something to end and the logical part of you is just afraid of it, the subconscious part can take over and create the tower moment, you know, that like breakthrough moment that things just start to fall apart. So you gotta like, there's nobody and nothing to blame, including yourself. Don't blame yourself. This is just a matter of like full radical ownership of everything. I'm not saying it's easy. This isn't for everybody, but it's for whoever is listening to this, whoever is resonating. Because with that, we're getting the joy permeated mother. And I find it interesting that it's the joy permeated mother energy, because there could be a huge mother wound here that has led to a lot of, again, self-doubt, insecurity, fear, scarcity, feeling bad about yourself, staying in situations that are harmful to you or unhealthy because they feel familiar and comfortable, not because they feel good per se. It's just it's all you've known. You've never had a joy permeated mother figure maybe in your life. So that feels foreign to you, even though you yearn for it, even though your spirit is like, I want nothing but that. If you keep staying in circumstances and situations that are the opposite of this, like the spiteful, you know, mother, or the angry mother, or the abusive mother, or whatever the situation is, it's only because like that's how your sort of nervous system was hardwired as a kid. That's where you have to just realize and take your power back and be like, I don't need to put up with this, or I don't need to stay in this situation. I don't care if everyone else is thriving on the back of my suffering, or everyone else seems good, but I'm the one that's dying inside. It's only you can speak up and be like, I deserve better than this. But you have to believe you deserve better. At least enough of you needs to believe that to make the decision. So on this card it says, I am my own guru. I know the self that never changes. Again, there's no one else to look to for the answer here. This is something that has to come within you. That's why it's such a deep, powerful, challenging spiritual lesson. Because only you can make this choice. Nobody can do it for you. No one can carry you through the tunnel. Nobody can save you from this one. It doesn't mean you won't get support later. It means this particular judgment call, this particular decision that you need to make is extremely personal to you. And I do feel it's connected to a mother energy. So this could be like a mother wound that you've carried forward, and now it's showing up in your relationship. It's showing up around your money. There's a lot of scarcity or a struggle financially. It's showing up with your self-esteem. You're not feeling good about yourself. You don't feel worthy of love because maybe the people that raised you didn't do a good job, straight up. They did the best they could with what they had, and maybe it was pretty lousy, and so now you have to reparent yourself. Only you can do these things, right? You can do it in relationship too, but your partner is not your parent. but you probably are with a partner that's a parent figure. They remind you of that parent. And that's because it happens subconsciously. It's like your wounds were compatible. And this is all a part of this lesson being learned right now. That even if you married your mother or your father, like you, or whatever this, or your boss reminds you of your, you know, angry, difficult parent, or some other relationships in your life, there's this like weird authority thing happening, this power struggle, this feeling like you have no control over your life. You're a grown-up now. You have to take the control back, but with that comes consequences, responsibility, ownership. It's very easy when you were in an unhealthy child-parent relationship to repeat it in your adult relationships and then want to blame the other person, just like you as a child, you didn't have control, right? As a kid, you didn't have control. You were a child, but now you're not. So that's where we have to shift the responsibility back to ourselves, because you couldn't prevent it as a child, but as an adult, you can stop and break the cycle. All right, advice. Okay, Page of Cups in the reverse, which I'm going to clarify, and then we're getting the High Priestess in the reverse. I am one with my soul, and my soul is a legacy of love. Again, I am one with my soul. It's reversed. High Priestess is a card about super psychic intuition, your own intuitive abilities, your own ability to trust your intuition, or that you choose to trust it, and it's in the reverse. So I'm feeling like the advice here is that you are deeply intuitive. You can trust your intuition. But what your intuition is telling you to do probably feels so foreign to you. You're like, I've never listened to my intuition. I've always canceled out my intuition in my heart and listened to my head and done the quote unquote logical thing, the thing that looked good on paper, the thing that didn't expose me as much, the thing that kept me more quote unquote safe. That's not what you're meant to do anymore. So let's clarify this Page of Cups as the advice, because this is like to not make, this is like an emotional offering, a little heart opening, a little message, a little something, but it's reversed. So I just want to see why that is. Why is the Page of Cups here as the advice? Okay, we're getting King of Pentacles, Temperance in the reverse, Hermit in the reverse, Knight of Cups in the reverse. All right, here's what I'm getting. This is interesting. What I'm gathering here, I need to come up. Okay, then we're getting the King of Cups and the Hierophant red under there. Okay, yeah, I was feeling this actually. So King of Cups, and then guess what? This is the complement to the High Priestess, the High Priest. It says Hierophant on there, but he's like a High Priest. So we got High Priestess reversed and then Hierophant or High Priest upright. What I'm getting here is the advice is actually that the emotional offering is not what is necessary right now. Because all the Cups cards, except for the King, are reversed. Look how we got Temperance, which is a card about emotional balance, and it's a water card, and he's pouring the water between the two cups. That's reversed. Page of Cups obviously came reversed, and even the Knight of Cups is reversed. You are, see how the King of Cups, sorry, I'm trying to put this into words, I can feel it all. See how the King of Cups is upright? And this keeps coming actually upright in my readings, which is very positive. It's that you can trust your intuition so deeply, probably so much more than you've realized. And emotionally, you're far more open than you have been before. So the emotional side of things, as far as like getting what you want or getting through this challenge, isn't really your issue. Your issue is taking your power back, like in the material realm, like in the physical world, not the emotional world. I actually don't think, even though these cards are all reversed, the thing that's coming reversed with it is the Hermit, which is about introspection. It's the spiritual part of things. Emotionally, you can trust your emotions, I feel. Even though in the past you probably haven't, now you can. But if you're wanting a result with somebody, it's like just offering your emotional feelings about the situation isn't going to change it anymore. It's not that that's bad. That's great. You want to put it on the table. You want to be open. You want to be honest. You want to be vulnerable. But right now, what's going to actually help balance you out emotionally is taking action, physically taking action beyond the emotional stuff. King of Pentacles is, for me, this is the provider card. This is like the husband card, but like the stable, the financially stable husband. Now, if you've been struggling with money, part of the reason is because you haven't been in your power. You've been giving it away to someone or something or some situation. And it probably has to do with, again, trying to please everyone else, being afraid of being judged, feeling exposed because you don't have as much as you want, for example, so you feel like a failure or that other people will look at you that way. But again, if you live your life for everybody else, you're going to suffer, right? So I'm just going to clarify the King of Pentacles, but that's what I'm getting here. It's like you need to actually take a physical action step, but before you do that, since the emotions cards are all reversed, you're feeling out of whack because you're not taking action to make a choice. Again, you've already opened your heart. You've probably already shared a lot of emotional things. Or again, your emotional viewpoint on things is probably pretty accurate. But the reason why you're feeling like shit is because you haven't the full lesson. It's like people, I mean, I've had this with previous people, you know, I won't say that, okay, let me put it this way. I qualify when I work with people one-to-one now because I need to make sure that they're at a place where they are ready to take action. I'm not a counselor or a therapist, right? I'm more of like a coach and a mentor. So you have to be ready to take bold action steps now, in real time, today. I'm not here to just talk about feelings and do emotional processing for months, whatever, on end. Not that you can't share emotions, yes, but you need to move on them too. So this is the piece that's missing here. Shit or get off the pot is really the term. I know that sounds harsh, but like it is that. And it's why you're struggling. It's why you feel so crappy about yourself. It's because you're not moving through it. You're not taking the next step that needs to be taken, which is why you keep reinforcing that loop of I'm not good enough, I'm incapable, I can't do it, I'm not brave enough. It's because the longer you sit on the fence, Humpty Dumpty sat on the fence. I don't remember the thing. How does it go? Fell off the, I don't remember what the fucking thing is. Maybe it's relevant. But I just can see like the longer you're sitting on the fence, guess what? That fence is going up your ass. And it hurts. So it's like you have to get off of there. But I know that it's a lot. But guess what? Again, the only way out is through. So I'm going to pull one of these each to sort of wrap this up. Oh, I want to clarify the King of Pentacles. Let's see. What else do we need to know about this? It feels very clear though. Like you've done enough of the sort of emotional stuff for the moment. It's actually about taking that physical step, making the decision, moving in the material realm forward. Yeah. Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. That's why the money isn't coming. It's why the new beginning isn't coming, because you're like, you keep, it's like I see a person just sitting on the fence, but like I said, how long are you going to sit on the fence? It's going to go up your asshole. Eventually you sit there long enough, it's like, ow, this hurts. And also I'm feeling weird. You know, it's like, why isn't anything happening? It's like, because it's not just going to drop out of thin air. You have to go towards it. It's that saying, like, take one step towards the gods, they'll take 100 steps towards you. You have to move towards your goal. Not just emotionally. Yeah, see, mentally you need to move forward too. It's sort of a combination of the mental stuff. You've got to logically be like, okay, it's time to move forward now. It's time to do this. And also, you get the confidence by doing things, not by overthinking it. The only way that, like, the people I work with, for example, feel more confident about themselves is when they actually do the thing that they've been wanting to do. It's not sitting around obsessing about it. And then the Two of Cups. Like, you can't experience the reciprocity that you want if you're not taking action either. Again, I don't feel you have an issue emotionally, especially because these two cards are coming up right. And guess what I'm hearing? This is what else I'm hearing. Part of your spiritual lesson was to open your heart. And I want to say congratulations to whomever this is for, because you did that. You're doing that successfully. You are, oh, I see it opening like literally these flowers. Like it's like it was a tight little bud before. And I feel that you have, or whoever this is for, has really bloomed like in their heart space. And now you have to back it up. You've got to like walk the talk. You have to like do the thing. But you have successfully opened up so much more. and you're much more receptive, much more vulnerable, honest, and that is beautiful. Like, give yourself credit for this. This is hard work. Doing this is massive, but you can't have the full thing you want until you finish it by taking the final action steps. Okay, I'm gonna get one of these from the feminine. I feel a lot of like energy in my chest, and I get that, like, when you get to a place like this and you're really resisting the final step, like whatever the decision you need to make or an ending or whatever it is, and you start to like get hyper vigilant about everything, like almost like you're looking for a reason not to do it. Oh my God, what are they thinking now? Oh my God, what are they doing? And you start to psych yourself out, and it's like, relax. You know what I mean? Like, what is meant for you isn't going to miss you. You just have to learn the rest of your lesson. That's all. Yeah, look, Isis is coming up again. I love that she's here. Again, this is the feminine Inanna, which is the goddess of the underworld. She had to go down 7 steps, basically, like into Hades, which is like hell, the hell realm, the shadow realms. And it was part of her integration journey of like her shadow meeting her light and integrating both parts of herself. She had to like take 1 layer of clothing off at each door down. And so by the time she got into the underworld, she was naked. And that was necessary because it was like a stripping away of the veil, the illusion, the limiting beliefs, the ego parts of her that were, you know, grasping to what didn't serve her. And then she went to go retrieve her twin sister in the underworld, and then they come back up together, aka you're uniting your shadow and your light, you know, and becoming whole, because that's what we're here. We're already whole. We just don't realize it. So this is a shadow work journey for you, but you've done a lot, and you've done a lot of emotional stuff, a lot of emotional work successfully. So just know that you're not failing here, but you have to finish it. The physical change has to happen now. And so Isis is also saying, don't forget that that sexual energy is your life force. It's like your propellant. It's like your gasoline. Like when you get depressed or frustrated, it's easy to shut down, like sexually even, and you start to feel like I was so exhausted over the last couple of weeks. I had to like, there's been a lot of stuff going on. I had to take a break and recalibrate and get back into my routines, my meditations, my self-care, my everything. Like I was like, my sleep cycle, I was up really late. I was like, turn the technology off at like 10, maybe read a book, get in bed earlier, like wind down earlier and let my nervous system rest and come back to me. And do these types of practices also where you're really tapping back into your sensual energy, whether you're a man or a woman or whatever, it doesn't matter. But yeah, this is also about sexual healing. But what I'm feeling is like for this last leg of your journey, like don't forget that your sexual energy is your life force. So even just belly breathing, remember to stay in your body. If you're getting caught up in your head and your breath is shallow and you're nervous and you're anxious, breathe, move, walk on the earth, jump up and down, go for a walk outdoors, do some exercise where you're grounding your energy. Let me just check the time here. Okay. Okay, that's one guidance card. Let's get one more from this masculine deck. All right, we're getting Enki, and it looks like a old man sort of sitting in the woods. Let's see what this one's about. Enki, E-N-K-I. Let's see. It says your ego, oh, here we go. Your ego is not the enemy. However, left unchecked and unseen, it can infiltrate your mind's reasoning and decision-making parts. Face your ego with love to gain insights and understanding about yourself. That's exactly what I was saying with the judgment card, wherever it is. It's like, that's the part of you that's still holding on to a situation that is no longer serving you, and the only thing stopping you is you, you know? And it's the ego. It's the part of you that refuses to see the whole picture or doesn't want to let something go because of pride or whatever it is, or fear. It says the concept of the ego tends to get a bad rap, but each person has one, and it's, I mean, listen, the ego stops us from doing things like jumping off a bridge or doing something that's going to hurt us. So it's there to protect us, but you're you know, like a caution signal, but also denying the ego plunges your most human aspects into the hidden murky depths of your psyche. The neglected elements transform into tendrils of darkness, coiling around your ankles, attempting to capsize and pull you beneath the surface. Seek integration and awareness rather than denial and repression. Pretending something doesn't exist doesn't make it so. Correct. Denial is a river, you know what I'm saying? The ego is a tool for self-preservation, yet amplified it becomes selfish, choosing self over connection, community, and intimacy. It can go from the thing there to protect you to the thing that's bringing you the most pain. An unchecked ego says, leave before you get left, hurt before you get hurt. I'm right, they're wrong. An ego left all right is threatened by being in the wrong. An overinflated ego is represented by some God wanting to demolish the other to serve the self. But again, this separation consciousness it's a fallacy. It's not true. We are all connected. So othering ourselves and being like, they're not like us, or you're not like me, or it's your fault, or you're to blame, like that's not seeing the full picture. It's coming from you. Like in Buddhism, it's all coming from you, not at you, which means you're in control. You have power to change for the better. But then you have to take ownership and recognize that your ego is telling you lies. So the ego repressed doesn't die. It festers and flourishes from the shadows. That's true. But when you integrate these parts of you, again, that's why Inanna showed up. That's what I was saying. That was her journey to the underworld, to integrate the parts of her that she was repressing or denying or avoiding. And it can be very painful. It requires, it says, integrating your ego, the parts of you you're resisting, requires raw truth, ownership, and going deep beyond the surface with intention. And it says, accept your ego as a friend, not a foe. Work on integrating its positive aspects while being aware of your shadow side. Once you do, it makes it easier to implement self-protective measures while also considering your connection with others. Yeah, your ego is what's keeping you caught up in the cycle, that's keeping you separate from the things that you desire, especially when it comes to love and connection. Again, 2 of Cups is what you want. Reciprocity, mutual feelings, again, love, even beyond romantic love. But like I said, it's up to you. So I will end it there. Yeah, I cut to the 10 of Wands again. So it's up to you to let the burden go and take these final steps. But if you want support with this, I have 60-minute clarity sessions. And everything else is in the links below. I have a few other things going on, and I'm going to have a 12-week offering as well that I'm just finishing up with a client. I'm creating a little bit something new. It's called the Activation Mentorship, because really it is an activation. It's just enough time to we did a lot of the shadow work together, and yeah, it's cool. It's like a quick way to connect and get a lot of stuff to surface and get momentum rolling, but it's not a super long-term commitment. So that is on its way. I'm going to create that this week. So anyways, I'm sending you guys so much love. I really hope this helped you out, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.